when God was making man, he was looking at you, the state of how you appear. They say that beauty is in the eyes of the beholder. The handsome men here, I can see the beautiful ladies here, thriving, beautiful as God created you. This cosmetic, as it was presented by God, through this river that God created. So God had this intention to man that, even as man lives in the garden, even as man lives on earth, man should be able to present themselves in a better way. They should be able to smell nice. They should be able to have that ambience, that glow, which can be able to, to make even the environment and even why the place of operation where you are on a daily basis to feel good. And these are the things that God already prepared for us. Even say that out of these things, you can be able to be wealthy. Greetings. Welcome to today's podcast. My name is Dr. Nene, and I would like to take you through on the journey of what we call create that wealth. Just to maybe for those who are coming in and joining us today, just to give you a recap. Previous podcast, we looked at how the Garden of Eden was created from the lens of God's eye, and we looked at gold, and we are looking at how this gold are being supplied, all over the world and to different regions of the world. And that was through rivers, those rivers which we pointed out. There are several rivers, about 4 rivers actually, from the Garden of Eden, which brought about gold in the land. So today, I just want to build up on that foundation where we're looking at how rich and wealthy this land was, the land of Eden. And as we said that from the previous one, we looked at gold, but now this time around, what we want to look at, very important aspect that came out of it, that is what we call Bedlium. There was a river by the name Pishon. And this river had 3 things. It had gold, it had Bedlium, and also it had onyx. So we looked at gold, and this time round, we just want to take a look and flow through and just to see what is this Bedlium according to this river, the river that flew from Eden, down the stream as it went. We want to look at Bedlium, and we want to see what is the significance of this Bedlium. We need to understand what Bedlium is. And is something which is aromatic. Okay, I know when you hear this word, the things which are tracking in your mind. You hear the word aromatic. When you hear the word therapeutic, some good things. That's some very exciting things, of course. You're feeling. So Bedlium, of course, is a fragrant, it's aromatic resin that is normally extracted from trees. And this Bedlium, of course, it comes from a tree. Those botanical names. Botanical. If you remember those who went through the biology class, I don't know if you're one of them. And of a class of a family of what we call califora. Yeah, califora. What a term. What a term. But it's good to understand so that even as we build up on this, it's good to know where we are coming from and where we are going to. So we are saying that Bedlium, of course, in the current formation is that it was being found in 2 areas, and that one of the areas is called African. So we had a species of an African Bedlium, and also we had a species of Asian Bedlium. So those are 2 kinds of species which we have found here. As we've said, it's something aromatic. In here, Bedlium is something aromatic, something a resin extracted out of the trees, and of course, through the broadening of time and through the manufacturing and processing of time, then you find that this botanical resin, which we call Bedlium, it lays under class of what we call myrrh and frankincense. And if you look at, for example, the Bible, the genesis of the Bible, when this river, we said it had got what we call Bedlium. And you find that even this Bedlium of the class of myrrh and frankincense, it was very significant in the Bible. For example, it was used for purpose of trade. Remember during one day, there was this out of the tribe of Israel, there was a tribe of Israel. There was a son in the name Joseph. He was liked by the father. He was liked by the father. But the brethren, the brothers, they felt a bit like envious of this brother, and they thought, why don't we kill this brother of ours? Why don't we? Because, he had found favor before his father. And, there was that beef kind of, that hatred, that hatred. and they wanted to kill him. Then one of them said, "No, we should not kill him, but let us sell him to the Armenians, to the Armenians." And then now they were taken by the blood was taken by the Armenians. Those are the Ishmaelites, they were going down to Egypt. And one of the things they were going down to Egypt is that they were going to trade. And part of the thing they were going to trade was this, what we call frankincense and myrrh. So you see, the essence here is that we are talking about something which is aromatic that people are even trading. And as we say there, that when you look at wealth creation, we are talking about the creation and building of wealth through that which God has provided to us. And we are saying that one of it is this medium, which is aromatic, the class of frankincense, the class of myrrh. And you can see here it's being used for purpose of trade. So we are talking here trade and building wealth. The secret, the Ishmaelites, for example, during those times, took, they were trading with Egypt, so they used to source these materials from wherever they came from, and then now they went to Egypt and traded. So we're talking here trading in cosmetics. When you hear the word frankincense, you look at that sweet aroma, something that is, you can oil, you can put an ointment on your body, oil, and we shall be able to see different classes of them even as we go on. So we are talking here and saying that these are perfumes, the cosmetics, these are perfumes. If you remember well, during the birth of Jesus Christ, those three wise men from the east, they came and said, "Where is the king of the Jews, so that we can be able to worship him?" And the Romans were like, "Do you mean the other kings here? Yet I'm the king," during the time of King Herod. And he thought he was the king, but again, there was another king, being born in his town, Jerusalem, that is. And you can see the wise men, when they came again, they came with three things. They came with gold, they came with frankincense, and they came with myrrh. So you can see again, building and testing this cosmetics, and the relevance of it is that, bringing the perfume, the frankincense, and the myrrh, So if you look at this economic importance of this, is that these were things that were being used. One was for purpose of beauty. Another was also for purpose of medicinal. It was used for medicinal value. The myrrh, for example, is used for medicinal value. Like the Romans, of course, during those days, they used it for purpose of treatment, treatment of inflammation, dressing the wounds, and even soothing the digestive, ailments, the digestive ailments. And if you look at the present world, these are the things that we are using. We are extracting herbs to make medicine, okay? We are extracting herbs and we make perfumes out of it. And, sometimes when you walk on a garden, for example, and you hear you feel the sweet aroma, the sweet sense, coming out of the garden, the flowers, the different flowers, you can look up the rose flower, the pink, the blue ones, and you're like, wow, this is so amazing. I'm feeling the aromatic therapy out of it. So the bedlium, as you've said here, is that these are things which are being used for purpose and for purpose of treatment for man. And even besides that, again, also some of them, they found their way into the spiritual devotion times. It was being used and relevant during the times of worship. So you can find that this bedlium, in its component as it is, it performed a different function in the life of man. And if you look, for example, at the time of the crucifixion of Christ, Jesus, the myrrh, the soldiers say that let us make wine together with the myrrh so that they can be able to give Jesus when he was on the cross, so that just to ease the wound, it was something like a balm for Christ, something like an antidote, cushion to lessen the pain that Christ was going through while at the cross. So you can see here, you can be able to trace the relevance of these things, and how again, even to our current and present moment, the modern times as we live in, you can be able to see that this is a thing that has been there in time past before, okay? And right now it's here with us, and still it will be here with us to stay. What am I saying is that I want us to take an angle and just focus on this frankincense and myrrh, the perfume. That's what we're talking about here. We are talking about the cosmetics, We're talking about the cosmetics here. And so you're saying that when God was making man, God also was looking at you, the state of how you appear. They say that beauty is in the eyes of the beholder. And I can see you, of course, my audience, I can see you, the handsome men here, the beautiful ladies here, the beautiful daughters here. I can see all of you, thriving, beautiful as God created you. And so here now we are bringing in the essence of cosmetics just to add that value and that touch, to bring you to that point of an elegant, aesthetic motion whereby, as you come out, people can be able to see, wow, this person really is a feel good, that a person is having a good vibe at the moment, and people can be able to look at you like, wow, this person is really thriving and they smell good, and it makes you feel great. What I'm thinking here then again is that we are looking at this cosmetic as it was presented to us by God, through this river that God created. So God had this intention to man. God had this intention to man that, even as man lives in the garden, even as man lives on earth, man should be able to present themselves in a better way. They should be able to smell nice. They should be able to have that ambience, that glow, that the smell, which can be able to, to make even the environment and even why the place of operation where you are on a daily basis to feel good and even to have that nice feeling look and nice feeling aesthetic, So what am I talking here then is that if you look at the transformation that has taken place through the world, from the times when the world was created, to the times of the archaic time, if I can say so, from the traditional times even to the modernity times that we live in, the present, the new age, right now, where we live in. We are talking about cosmetics. By then, of course, they talk about the fragrance, they talk about the frankincense, they talk about the myrrh, but of course, the language, the change of language, the dynamic. And these are the things that God already uh, prepared for us. And even say that out of these things, you can be able to be wealthy. So we are looking at the wealth that comes out of this bedlam. And can you be able to touch it? Can you be able to convert the bedlam? Can you be able to convert the frankincense? Can you be able to convert the myrrh into something that can be beneficial to mankind? And out of it, can you be able to create wealth out of it? Let us journey together and see how can you be able to create wealth out of that which God had given us from the beginning, from the word God. So here now, what we're saying here is that we are looking at the world globally, and if you look at the cosmetics industry as it is, this is a multi-billion industry. This is a multi-billion industry as it is, and from the days, from the times of extraction, in the years past, we've been seeing the trend, the trajectory upward increase in terms of expenditure into this world of cosmetics because we are saying that this is a $1 million project, it's $1 million industry. And the projection is that, like currently, for example, it controls about over 700 billion US dollars. So you can imagine this is a worthwhile place for us to be able to make wealth out of it. And the projection is that even by 2032, 2035, as the years go by, we expect an increase even up to 6%, up to 6%. So you can see here that every weight is being thrown into this cosmetic industry because of its relevance to man, because of its relevance to women, because of its relevance to all as a whole. Maybe they want to ask, how relevant is it? What you're saying is that if you look at the present times, both the genders, that is both the men and women alike, each one of us, they want us to look good. We want to groom ourselves. We want to, when I come out of the house, and I go out, I want to look good. I want to have a good hairstyle. People are now aware and they have come to that point of awareness whereby they look at beauty and say, no, beauty is something that is intrinsic. Beauty is something that is intrinsic, something that will be able to go over and above a person. So the global consumers, that is both men, both genders, wherever we are globally as we speak, they're saying that we've come to the point of understanding what are type of the ingredients that we, or the type of ingredients that we want, the type of ingredients that we want to see out of this beauty product that we have. Because of this, then it's forcing us through that creation of awareness. It's making us, coming to the point whereby now we want to be choosy. We want to be choosy in terms of what type of cosmetic uh, should I have? You know, we become now choosy. That's why sometimes when you go to the stores and you find the different lines of beauty products, you move from one shelf to another shelf, trying to look keenly, looking at the ingredients that have been labeled. You want to see how is this ingredient coming to, how will it be beneficial to me? How will it bring value? Will it be able to bring value to myself? When I look at myself in the mirror, can I be able to like and love that person in the mirror? So we find that this awareness has driven that traffic to the world of cosmetics, such that people nowadays want to ensure that that which they are buying is something maybe natural, depending. Maybe that which they are buying is something maybe that organic, depending. Maybe something they are buying is that vegan, for example. And that something which they are buying has got value for their dermatological and ensuring that it's been tested and they're ensuring that it's cruelty free. That's why I think that this world of cosmetics, as you said from the word go, is that it's a multi-billion industry and people are so aware about themselves. People are so aware about their beauty, the beauty that they carry, not only the inner beauty about their souls and heart, but also they want to have an experience of the outer beauty. The question then is, how do we as a person, uh, choose to change our life through this fragrance that we have with us? So how do we move? How do we go on to change? Maybe I do not say the wardrobe as it is, but of course it's part of the wardrobe. But then how do you want to change our bathroom, for example? How do you want to change our mirror, the setting of our mirror? And how do you want to change maybe the different components which houses and holds our beautiful, elegant materials of beauty?